So, what did you think of Melissa's book?
I haven't read it yet.
Why not?
Welcome to Ms. Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 differences between Conversations with Friends, book and show.
I can't keep up with the level of detail here, love.
For this list, we're looking at the most noteworthy deviations in the Hulu adaptation of Sally Rooney's debut novel. Whether it be changes made to the narrative structure, setting, or characters, our list includes spoilers for both the book and the series. What other discrepancies did you notice between the page and the screen? Let us know in the comments below. Number 10. Bobby finds out about Nick and Frances. As a faithful retelling of its source material, some of the greatest differences are the results of slight tweaks. For example, the change made to Bobby's discovery of Frances's affair is small, but it carries a lot of emotional weight.
The fact that you didn't tell me about Nick is embarrassing. It makes me feel really stupid. As if we're in wildly different versions of this friendship.
The college students are on holiday with the married couple when Bobby begins looking for Frances in the middle of the night. In the book, she finds her room empty before knocking on Nick's door. He answers Bobby and reveals that her best friend is inside. In the show, Bobby enters Frances's room unannounced and finds the two in bed together.
Frances? Sorry.
While the timing and impact remain the same between the two versions, the discovery is undoubtedly made more dramatic by her walking in.
Feeling like I was the one that shouldn't be there. Do you understand what that was like for me?
I do. I'm sorry.
Number 9. Frances's dad. In both versions of the story, Frances receives an alarming phone call from her father. On screen, she actually listens to a voicemail left by her dad.
I can't do this anymore. Frances.
She immediately calls her mother to ensure her father is okay. On the page, however, she answers his call late at night and attempts to get in touch with him after he hangs up, but she doesn't bring it up to her mother until later.
When you married him, was he ever like this?
I don't know, Frances. I don't remember.
She's arguably more active about ensuring her dad's safety in the show, but Frances is in a less stable place when she receives the call in the novel, which could explain the shift in her reaction.
Did your mother send you looking for me?
No.
You found me anyways.
Number 8. Frances and Nick's first kiss. Frances and Nick's first kiss sees one technical difference after another, though the meat of the occurrence remains intact. While both happen at Melissa's birthday party, the discrepancies begin once Frances opens the door.
Well, we all look great. Can I get you both a drink and maybe introduce you to some people?
In the show, Frances has been at the event for a little while before she finds her way upstairs. She encounters Nick alone in a bedroom, and they kiss before she leaves the party.
Frances.
Sorry.
It's just...
I'll go.
In the book, she finds him very soon after she arrives. The two meet in the utility room and kiss there, after which Frances rejoins the party before eventually retiring to the guest room. Nick later reveals he waited for Frances in the bedroom all night, adding further context to both versions.
I felt paralyzed by the idea that you were close by and that you might come back. I have this impulse to be available to you all the time.
Number 7. Bobby and Frances's argument. In the third act, Frances faces crisis after crisis with her family, finances, friends, and lover. Bobby confronting her about her short story is the beginning of everything falling apart in the novel.
Melissa showed me your story.
What? How?
Were you going to tell me?
I'm sorry.
In the show, however, their fight is one of the last things to happen before the protagonist starts making amends. Bobby is upset with Frances for not being able to communicate her feelings properly, but her offense at the fictional depiction of her is unique to the screen. So is her recitation of Frances's words.
She belongs everywhere. She never seems to be serious nor joking. She can be unrestrained, abrasive. She breaks things and treats people, men, with contempt. and whatever she wants, she can have.
It's fiction.
In the book, Bobby tears a printed copy of the story in half before moving out. Even Frances's apology is different in the adaptation, proving to be more coherent than the email sent in the source material.
We deconstruct everything, but we have never talked about why we couldn't be together. And I think I've been reacting against that.
Number 6. Melissa's email to Frances. As a contemporary story, much of the communication that happens between the characters is done through text, email, or instant message. These methods don't always translate well in cinema, however. So it's not surprising that Melissa's email to Frances after she learns about her affair with Nick was altered to better suit the adaptation.
Do you understand why I feel so betrayed, Frances?
Of course. Yeah.
I feel like I encouraged a friendship between the two of you.
Instead of confronting Frances entirely through email, her message to the student just reads, "Can we talk?" It results in a conversation between the two, giving Frances a voice where she didn't have one in the book.
I didn't even know he had this in him.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why I'm here or what you want me to say to that.
The scene is more dynamic than it might have been if Melissa's concerns had stayed confined to an email.
I'd like to figure out a way to make it work between us. 3 of us. I don't know, maybe we could all have dinner.
Number 5. Melissa's writing project. As the founding reason behind her bond with the college students, it's significant that Melissa's work differs between the two versions. In both cases, the relationship between the 3 starts with Melissa viewing one of Frances and Bobby's slam poetry performances.
That was really great.
Thanks. That's the writer.
But in the novel, she's a photographer in addition to being an essayist. She takes pictures of the slam poets and ultimately decides to write a profile on them. All of this happens before Frances and Nick have their first proper conversation. In the Hulu series, it's not until after their affair has begun that Melissa asks to use a quote from Frances's poem.
There's no pressure, really. I just think it works really well thematically.
Given the show's visual nature, it's somewhat of a shame that we don't get to see Melissa's photographs realized.
Don't put too much pressure on yourself, you know. If it's not coming, then leave it for a bit.
Number 4. Frances and Bobby's vacation kiss. Despite what the title might suggest, this story is about a convoluted love web among the 4 main characters. Frances and Bobby are ex-girlfriends in addition to being stage partners and friends.
It was very sweet, but ruthless.
Oh, that's Frances. She's the writer. I'm Bobby. I'm like her muse.
Well, I want to muse.
I don't operate exclusively.
As they individually explore romantic possibilities with the older couple, the unresolved issue of their breakup resurfaces. Lingering feelings between the two are apparent earlier on the page than on the screen, partially thanks to Frances's first-person perspective.
Your self-obsession is exhausting, and it's hurtful, and it's boring.
Their kiss on holiday is a crucial point in the novel and confirms that the amoristic affection goes both ways. Yet in the show, they don't share that tender moment, instead holding hands. The on-screen absence of both the smooch and Frances's inner monologue keeps the nature of the students' relationship ambiguous for longer.
Our relationship isn't a game. I should never have treated it like one.
Number 3. Nick's loan to Frances. While Frances still faces money problems in the show, Nick's assistance is cut completely.
I actually need the money. I realize that's like an alien concept.
In the original story, the actor buys groceries for the student when her refrigerator is sparse, and even gives her a €200 cash loan. Frances eventually pays him back, but the interaction introduces another layer to the complicated power dynamic between the two.
I don't really know how to do this anymore. I don't think I'm managing it very well.
Interestingly, the couple actually discusses Nick giving Frances money in the novel before he actually does so, and both admit being bothered but tempted by the idea. So it's not a surprise that Nick offers to help her out when he discovers the financial stress she's under. By removing this plot point, the show takes the attention away from their age gap and vastly different socioeconomic statuses.
I just wish I could figure things out on my own so that he wouldn't have this sort of weird hold on me. But I don't even know how to do that. So.
Number 2. Bobby's identity. Melissa is notably British in the show, as opposed to Irish like in the book. But an even more notable deviation is Bobby's racial and national identity.
Where are you from?
London. You sound...
New York.
That's a big change.
A Black American woman in the series, she's seemingly white and Irish in the novel. On screen, Bobby is played by Sasha Lane, an American actress with African and Maori ancestry. As part of an immigrant family, the character faces international complications during her parents' divorce.
And I think Mom's just gonna go back to the States. And I'll be here with him.
As a woman of color, her political stances take on a more personal meaning. And Lane perfectly embodies the personality and alluring aesthetic that are key to Bobby in the book. Thus, she demonstrates that a faithful casting of a pre-existing character doesn't need to be a literal one.
Bit of a culture shock at first. There are a lot of white people here.
Yes.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. The Vacation. The most notable difference between the two versions is the change in location during their vacation. Tensions flare when the college students join the married couple on a holiday in a house near the beach.
All good. Just a long night.
I think we could all use a drink.
However, the Hulu series finds them in Croatia instead of the north of France. Political conversations ensue in both versions, but they take place at different points and are tailored to fit the realities of each area.
If you told me 20 years ago that I would have a place in the former Yugoslavia, I would have laughed in your face.
Yeah. Nothing like a bit of ethnic cleansing to pep up tourism.
In addition, Nick is unable to demonstrate his proficiency in French in the series. He's also shown drinking more during the getaway than he does in the book. While the overall effect remains the same, nearly every single part of the trip in the show differs from the novel in some way.
Yeah. Why'd you drag us here anyway?
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from Ms. Mojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.